welcome to another episode of Asexualized, my asexual life. This is the place to be for education about asexuality, all things asexual. I share my asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. If you haven't already subscribed, hit the great big subscribe button on YouTube right here, right now. And don't forget to hit that icon to get notified of every time I go live right now, post a new video. And also, if you are on Facebook, because I'm simultaneously streaming this to Facebook from my phone, don't forget to subscribe by following the page on Facebook, liking Asexualized. So thank you to everyone who's here already. I've got a huge message to all of you who wish to be normal. Now, I was in a group recently. Albert, hi, how are you, my friend? I'm good, thank you. Very good. It's nearly 4 a.m. in the morning here in the UK. So, hi, Sam. And so, anyway, yes, so I have been in an asexual group, and very recently, in the last few minutes, and one of my friends posted that they wish they were normal, right? So I have to let you know, the normal doesn't exist, right? Normal does not exist. It's a complete and utter fallacy. Now, I have a friend who's not asexual who also sometimes wishes they were normal, right? And it's no good wishing you were normal, because normal, like I said, does not exist, right? Normal is a fallacy. And the reason it's a fallacy and does not exist is because everyone's idea of normal, everyone's idea of perfect is different. Therefore, it cannot exist because no one is in unity. No one is thinking the same way, exactly the same way, because every single person on planet Earth is different, right? Every single person is different. So instead of wasting your life away wishing to be normal, wishing to be someone or something you're not, it's far better to look internally and start self-loving and start accepting yourself for who you are. And if you can't accept yourself for who you are, you have some work to do. Work on yourself, which means to change yourself, to grow yourself, to develop yourself, to change yourself in some way, to actively, proactively change yourself. This means consciously deciding, I don't want this life anymore. I don't want to be this person anymore. I want to upgrade myself, and then work towards doing something about it. But in the meantime, love the person that you are. It's no good wishing to be someone you're not and wasting your precious time away. We get one life, people. One life. Obviously, if you believe in reincarnation and other lives, fair enough. But in this life, this one here now, this one I'm talking to you about, right? Because we can have lots of spiritual different lives going on if you believe that, right? But this one I'm talking about on the planet Earth now, this is the one life we've got, right? This one time here in this moment. So we need to make the most of it, because time is so precious. You can't get that time back. It's gone for good in this universe, in this life, in this existence as we are now, in our essence and our being on planet Earth, right? So we can't recoup that time back. And so therefore, we need to stop looking at other people, stop idolizing them, stop putting people on pedestals, stop comparing your life to them, because especially a lot of people on social media are just giving you the joyous side of their life. They're not showing you the nitty gritty. A lot of the time, they're not showing the really depressed and upset and painful side of their life. They're not showing the anxiety side of their life. They're showing you clips of how a good life is, or how you think their good life is, right? But we need to keep it real, people. There is no such thing as perfection. Everybody, however much money they've got or however much status they've got, they always have times where some better days and some worse days than others, right? There is no perfect. There is no normal, right? Let's take some chat from YouTube. So Albert says it's 10 p.m. in the USA. Sam, I spent years wishing I was normal. Now I embrace who I am. This is good, Sam. I believe in reincarnation, but I still believe each life is precious. Lots of love to you, my best friend. Lots of love. Thank you, Albert, as well, for being here. Appreciate you. Like Sam says, I'm glad now that they embrace who they are, because it is a frigging waste of life and time and energy. It's very energy draining if you're trying to be someone you're not all the time, because you're not being your true authentic self. Therefore, you're trying to put on this facade. You're trying to be someone you're not. and you can't be who you want to be if you're living that life, and you'll just be miserable. You'll look at yourself in the mirror and think, God, who the hell am I? You'll come one day to realize, what am I doing? This isn't even me, right? And we're all drawn into other people's lives, especially with social media. We're all drawn into other people's lives all the time, right? And we live in a planet which is full of other people. So, of course, we're going to be drawn into other people's lives. But we do have choices, and don't choose to be like someone else, because you can never be that person. You can never have their exact nose. You can never have their exact feelings. You can never have their exact heart. You can never have their exact hair. Doesn't matter how much you try and replicate yourself to be someone else, you're not someone else. Your molecular structure is going to be different. You're never ever going to be a replica, a carbon copy of someone else. It's just, you're not going to have that. So you have to really get to know yourself and embrace who you truly are. And love yourself for who you are. Stop putting people on pedestals. Because if you put people on pedestals, you're always looking up to them and feeling down about yourself, because they're up here and you're down here. And therefore, you're not going to be on their level. You're just going to think, oh, everyone's better than me. Everyone's doing this, that, and the other. I'm not good enough. And so therefore, you're going to feel bad about yourself. Well, there's no need to, right? The people that are not normal are the ones that are revolutionists. These are the people that actually are the ones that end up being the most well-known in the world, because they're not normal. It's not the normal people that stand out and be remembered for years and years and years, long after they're not alive anymore. It's the people that were different, the people that weren't afraid to show their difference to the world, the people that were outspoken and outstanding, the people that were bending the rules, as it were, the people that were, just like, wow, so crazy and zany. You remember those people because they're memorable. You don't remember someone who's like a carbon copy or trying to be a carbon copy with someone else, because they're just blending in, right? And people who are trying to be carbon copies, why would you want to copy someone else? Why? What is so special and important about them that it's more special and important than you? You in your body and your being and your personality. Why would that be more important? Because if you think someone else is more important than you, then you don't love yourself enough, because no one should be more important than you. Bonjour. Hi, J Star. Lots of love to you. Because if you don't put, if you're not the most important thing in your life, right, you live and you die with yourself, right? 365 days a year you have to spend with yourself. And if you don't love yourself, if you're not happy to spend time on your own, in your own company, enjoy your personality, enjoy who you are, then you're going to lead quite a lonely life, because, you're going to be with yourself for years to come, day in, day out. I love being me. I really enjoy it, Sometimes I think people are crazy because they don't enjoy being with me as much as I enjoy being with me. But hey ho, J-Star, British, Sam, even if you were cloned, the clone would not exactly be the same as an individual, as life experiences shape up differently. Yes. I mean, obviously you can, in the future, you can get clones, but clones are not going to be the same anyway, because they're not going to be exactly, they're not going to be human for a start. You know what I mean? They're not going to be human in every sense of the word for a start. And there's cells that can mutate and they will change, and environmental factors impact it as well. Too many people are into copying others. A lot of it is because media encourages people to mimic celebs, etc., and teaches us what normality is. Yeah, I mean, there is a lot to be said for social media. A lot of it is geared towards making people feel inadequate, so they need to spend more time on social media, basically. So it's you can't clone the human mind. No, exactly, because they're like consciousness. Yeah, they're going to be different. Exactly. Yeah, you can't. I agree. You can't clone the subconscious. There's conscious, subconscious. There's actually a superconscious mind as well. But you can't clone someone completely and wholly, even as a clone. A clone's a clone. It's not actually you. Do you know what I mean? It's not really you. And so there are going to be differences. Sam, I wasn't advocating cloning, Lafayette. I was just saying even a clone would be different to the base person. Yeah. But I was just thinking there's bound to be someone who comes on this video channel and goes, well, actually, you can clone yourself. And I'm like, yes, I know in the future, or probably even now in some scientists and labs, people are cloning people, right? They're cloning, I think they cloned sheep already, haven't they? But you can't exactly clone someone exactly. You just can't do it. And why would you want to be a carbon copy of someone else? I mean, obviously, if you want to clone yourself because you love yourself so much, then that kind of might be a more positive thing, right? If you are like, oh, I want a clone of me. But you know, DNA cloning exists already. Yeah, I thought it did. Because I think they've done a sheep, haven't they? I think, but I don't actually partake in watching the news. They did it to a sheep. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Thank you for confirming that. Dolly, wasn't it Dolly the sheep? Am I right about that? Dog, sheep that I know of, not sure what else. Yeah, so but the thing is, you know, is why would you personally want to be a carbon copy of someone else? Oh, Stevie. Hi, Sandra. Dolly, I think. Oh, brilliant. We're having a nice chat tonight, even though it's like over 4 a.m. in the morning in the UK. And I'm saying hi to people on Facebook as well, because I'm on Facebook streaming this on my phone as well. But I always look up when I'm on Facebook, so they get my chin a lot of the time. Bless them. Lots of love to those on Facebook. Anyway, yeah. So, you know, and personally, I feel really, really insulted if someone says I'm normal, because to me, that's the worst thing. Like, I do not want to be like everyone else. If some bloke, for example, says to me, oh, you're like every other woman, that is the worst possible thing he can probably say. Well, one of the worst possible things he could possibly ever say to me, because it's like, I'm really not like other women. It really pees me off. It was really interesting because there was a woman who tried to connect with me on Facebook, and I just in my inbox as not friends, and she friend requested me, and I hadn't accepted it because I don't even know her. We had 2 mutual friends, and she messaged me in the inbox. I didn't respond. I just deleted it in the end. I didn't, so she couldn't talk to me. It's like, oh, I see we're friends now. And I'm thinking, well, that's very presumptuous because I haven't accepted you. And then she's going off talking, oh, I'm a mum and I've got kids, and I do not want to be a mum, and I do not want to be having kids. And she's like talking about dating, relationships and marriage, and I don't want to get married. So she's pretty much like example of what I don't want to be. It's like, why would I want to connect with someone who clearly wants to arrange a business thing with me, because a lot of them tout for business on Facebook, when I'm not even interested in the topics you talk about and who you are. Like, as in, I don't want to be a mum with kids, and I'm not that type of woman. Like, I'm not a typical girl, you know. And I'm glad I'm not a typical girl. J-Star, if someone called me normal, I'd be offended. Sam, luckily for me, no one will call me normal if they knew me. Oh, bless. J-Star, same. Oh, bless. Hi, Rich. Rich is on Facebook. Lots of love to Rich. I hope you're feeling better now, Rich. Rich hasn't been very well. Rich is known as Ace Man, so he's on Facebook. So lots of love to you. Hope you're feeling better soon. So yeah, so for me, like I said, you know, normal is a really offensive term to me. If someone calls me normal, it really irates me and it really grinds on me. I'm like, I'm really not normal. I do not want to be pushed in a box with a bunch of other people that I'm nothing like, right? I know that I'm very unique. I know I have a very different personality to anyone I've ever met in my life. Sometimes that's a bit difficult because it's kind of like, don't really 100% fit in anywhere, 100%. But it's nice that I'm in the asexual community now. I feel like I fit here more than anything else in the world in terms of like my people, if you know what I mean. That's how I met my best friend Sam as well, who's in chat. So that's been incredible. Oh, Sam's on Facebook as well. 2 places. This is great. I love it. Lots of love to you on Facebook as well. J-Star, can I just say Cambridgeshire for life? Are you in the UK? Cambridgeshire in the UK? Bahaha. Stevie, I might act normal when you first meet me, but once you get to know me, the weirdness comes out. Well, I have to say, Stevie, because your name's called Stevie Nicks, is a freaking legend. That to me is not a normal way of describing yourself. I think it's an awesome way of describing yourself, an awesome way of describing yourself, but I don't think it's a normal way of describing yourself. So I already know you're different just by your title on YouTube. You know what I mean? So whenever I see that, I just like, oh, you're definitely different. J-Star, I am neurodivergent, so I'm not the norm. Oh yeah, I only just learned what the neurodivergent term means. It usually means for someone, am I correct, that's on the autistic spectrum? Somewhat. Is that right? Sam, I have had much better life experience since finding the ace community more welcoming, open than others. Thank you, Sam. Yeah, I mean, I really feel I fit in, especially on YouTube, my YouTube family. Like, obviously, I'm streaming this to Facebook as well because I want, you know, to get to know my Facebook people more as well. But you know, I've just found that this community on YouTube, particularly, I just find like I feel like I'm so confident and comfortable and happy to be here. And I think it's because of the instant way of the chat as well. It's like I feel like I'm talking to you directly and we're having this friendship conversation all the time in our own rooms and stuff. I think it's really cool. Yes, like ADHD, autism, OCD. You diverge from the neurological typical. Oh, Super Ace Man, I came over here where the party's at. Lots of love. Oh, wow. Sam is on Facebook. I'm doing okay, but I'm a little difficult for getting there. Oh, that's what Rich was asking. Yes, J-Star, you can just call me Jay. Oh, okay, Jay. Okay, Jay. Sorry, it's quite funny. Bear in mind it's 4 a.m. and I haven't had any sleep yet. And I get a bit funny sometimes of how much sleep, but there you go. So yes, I've had nice fruit though, so I'm quite hyper off fruit. Anyway, I'm talking about being different and not normal, and as you can see, I'm really not normal. So yeah, so it's for us much better to embrace your differences, to embrace who you truly are, and it's really important that you get to know all your differences. And so, you know, the more you get to know your differences, the more you get to know understand your nuances and the different ways of being, the more you can develop and adapt your life to how it's most comfortable and beneficial for you. Because, you know, the more you know yourself, the better your life quality will be. I was on entrepreneur friend's Facebook recently, and he did a post about authenticity, right? Because it's really important that we be authentic, and in a world of social media, a lot of us are taught not to be authentic and to copy other people, and this person's life's better than yours, and this is who you need to aspire to be. And to be honest, a lot of it dampens down who the person really is. I can't help but be myself. I don't want to be anyone else. I like being authentic. I like being on this channel because I am my true authentic self, just like I am when I stream anywhere. You know, I don't change my persona to who's around me or who or wherever I am. I don't do that. I am me completely through and through. To if my parents see me, to if like you see me here, obviously with my parents, they're not really like, my dad watches this channel sometimes, but they're not really into talking about asexuality. So, you know, I talk about it far more on this channel. But, you know, I'm still myself. I don't put on a show. I don't change who I am for someone else. I won't change who I am for someone else, you know. I will change myself if I feel I need to change myself, which I do always usually need to prove and develop and grow myself, because it's good to be like that, you know. It's good not to say you don't need to change on anything, because clearly sometimes we do need to make changes in our life, right? But it's very important that you understand the nuances of yourself. And like this entrepreneur guy, he's like a coach, and one of the things he said, it was about, with life you need to chip away at who you aren't in order to get through to the real core of who you are. So because social media and everything like that usually piles stuff on us and makes us be this person that we're not, and we realize throughout our lives eventually, if we're conscious, that everyone's been piling stuff on us, and that when we look in the mirror, it's kind of like, this is from this person, this is from this part of my life, this is from that part of my life, this is because this person told me this is because that person told me that. And we end up like having like plasters of everyone else's opinions and thoughts and feelings, emotions stuck to us. They're like a cactus or super glue, they're stuck to us. And as we become aware of ourselves and who we really are, we need to peel off all these plasters that have been patching over who we truly are and get rid of them so that we can be the true person that we're born to be and heal ourselves as well. So Jay says they haven't slept. Also, Sam, I also haven't slept. Sleep-free party tonight. Woo! J-Star, that's why I always wear my sunflower lanyard, because it helps. I've got a sunflower lanyard, J-Star. Jay, you said, didn't you? I've got a I like the star bit though. Yes, I've got a lanyard as well. Because I'm mask exempt and I can't take the vaccine, people. I'm glad I can't take the vaccine because I prefer not to take this one, but I'm actually got so many allergies and intolerances that it would be dangerous for me to take it anyway. I mean, I couldn't. Well, when my ankle broke in April and it's still mending. But when I first broke it, I didn't take any painkillers, and then I didn't take any painkillers. I broke it on the Saturday, the 17th of April, and went to the hospital to get it X-rayed on the 22nd of April, 2 days before my birthday. I didn't have any painkillers until I went to the hospital because Devon doctor's on call. Like, you better go and get painkillers because they're going to manipulate your foot. It's really going to hurt you. I'm like, okay. But a few days after I was out, I didn't stay in the hospital. A few days after that, I'd been to the hospital. I was having paracetamol and ibuprofen together, and my tummy was going to spasms, and so I had to stop taking that. So I couldn't even take. Usually, I can take them both together as directed by the doctor, but I couldn't even do that this time. So, for me, allergies, intolerances and stuff like that to medicines as well, they just get worse. They don't get better. Super Ace Man, it's bedtime over here in the States. Jay, it's like 20 past 4 a.m. in the UK. Oh, so you're in the UK too? Cambridger for life, baby. So you're in the UK in Cambridge. Oh, you should come to one of my asexual meetups when I'm back on my legs, when I'm back on my feet, when I'm back on my ankles. Thanks for the thumbs up. Lots of love. 20 after 11 p.m. Stevie, change is never a waste of time as long as you do it for the you and it's healthy. That's really important. Yeah, you must do change for you. And the reason why you must do change for you and not anyone else is it will not stick. If you are just changing yourself, as much as you might love a person and you might want to change yourself for a person, right? You should never actually change yourself for someone else because it will not stick. Because unless you fundamentally within your being want to change yourself, be willing to change yourself and say, I want to change and make a change, it will never happen. It doesn't matter how much someone tells you to change, how much someone goes on at you to change, how much you may think about changing. You have to have the will to change. You have to. Because if there's no will there, you can't do it. It's like you can't coach, for example, someone who doesn't want to be coached. Even if they've got a problem, they might have a problem. They might come to you with a problem. You might be open to coaching them. But when you've had a discussion with them, you realize they're just saying, well, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. Then if they think it's not going to work, it's not going to work because they don't want to change fundamentally, right? There are sometimes, like, I've got a friend who I talk to, and I help a lot. And sometimes I can find out the reason through careful question, the reason why they don't want to change. And so the reason why they don't want to change is actually part of the problem of why they're stuck in their life. And I can bring that to their awareness, and therefore it does help them, because sometimes we don't want to change, even though we want to change in a sense, but we need something to change our life because it's not right. But there's something fundamentally in the subconscious mind that doesn't want to make a change because there's something that's actually better and more, and usually more comfortable staying in the circumstance we are because they are familiar. And sometimes change is too painful for people. Like, I used to be really bad in the past. I used to not like change at all, ever. Couldn't cope with it, couldn't deal with it, and wanted just to stay and freeze, basically. But the thing with that is change is going to happen to you in your life whether you like it or not. So it's better to change happen for you than having it pushed on you and happen to you. That's why it's better to take ownership of changing your life as well, so you feel more in control and stable of it. And obviously, if you are thinking that it's good to be normal like other people, there's a shift that you need to make in your mindset, in your heart and your soul, to know that that isn't the right path. Following someone else and trying to be like other people is not the right path for you, because you're wasting your friggin' life. Like I said, normal and perfection is a fallacy, because everyone's idea of perfection and normal is completely different. So you can never ever be normal in someone else's eyes, because it's going to be different to how you perceive normal to be, to how you perceive perfection to be. Right? I mean, perfection, like some people, for example, like for example, guys, some guys like big, beautiful women. They love voluptuous women. They love women that's got some meat on them, if you like. And then other guys, they love skinny girls, right? To them, a skinny girl is normal. To some other people, a voluptuous woman with big chest and big hips and thighs, that's normal, right? So you can never ever win in the battle of normal, because normal doesn't exist. Yeah, so Stevie said it's got to be done for the right reasons, and I totally agree with that. Jay, society standards, I call it. Albert, I love your videos, my asexual life. Oh, thank you, Albert. That's really sweet. I really appreciate that. Jay, I'm definitely too young. What are you too young for? Stevie, my mum also has a lot of medicine intolerances, so I totally understand. Jay, after like mid-20s, when the brain is fully developed, it's difficult for adults to change. Super Aphman, if everyone's the same, this world would be boring. Yes, this world would be very, 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 very boring. Jay, the club you were on about. The club I was on about. What club was I on about? So yeah, I agree with you. Ace Man, Richard, Super Ace Man, Richard. Yeah, is that life would be very, very boring. I mean, if we were trying to copy other people, if we were just clones and all identical, you would just be so bored, because you wouldn't learn anything in life. You wouldn't develop yourself. You wouldn't grow yourself. And things, even though things are difficult, these things are here to challenge us to actually develop ourselves. Usually change within comes when there's adversity that's not within your control, when there's some adversity, when there's some change that's thrust upon you. And even if it's really difficult at the time, I've been going through some really difficult stuff in the last few months I can't talk about on this channel, apart from say it's been really tough. Then, you know, I do still believe that everything happens for a reason. And even through all the challenges and difficult times, it's all for a reason and purpose that will work out in the end. And it's the challenges that grow us and make us stronger, you know, even though it doesn't always feel like it at the time. So yeah, so where are we in the chat on? So Stevie, most innovations were created by people who were deemed weird in their time. Exactly. Exactly. That's what I was trying to say earlier, Stevie. So the people that stand out are the outstanding ones, are the ones that are kind of weird, zany, wacky, like mad scientist types, for example. You know, there are people who are not normal, people who stand out from the crowd, people who are very, very different, and who, you know, cause controversy, if you like, and taboo, and you know, and they just have a loud voice that stands out amongst tons of noise. For example, on social media, you know how noisy social media is. It's really difficult to have your voice heard on social media, because everyone's like, you know, been trained and conditioned with social media to quickly flick through. That's, you know, it's like 3-second brain information overload after 3 seconds, you know. So that's the way the brain is being conditioned on social media. This is why it's important to still have some time out from social media every single day. Even if you do a lot of stuff on social media, you still need to have time out from it, so that you can actually have a normal for you, not normal for everyone else, normal for you life, if you know what I mean. Rich, you can call me Richard or Rich. Oh, star. I'm always deemed weird, and I'm apparently very talented, but everyone else blends in. Well, I have friends who are autistic. I get on really well with autistic people usually. I get attracted to autistic guys, believe it or not. But it's true because I like guys who I'm only interested in guys. I like guys who are different. I like guys who are creative and intelligent. And I find a lot of people, guys who are autistic, for example, are very creative usually. They're very intelligent usually. They have special powers, if you like, special qualities that the normal people don't have. And they're very like kind of hyper and energetic. I'm naturally hyper energetic, so normally my personality goes quite well. I'm very young on purpose, reprogram my mind to be like 21 years in my brain, and my lifestyle's very young. So again, a lot of autistic guys that I know are young. They got young energy all the time, and they're young in the personality, and they're in their autistic ways, if you like. And usually a lot of them like projects, and I very much find that energy driving. I find when someone's doing projects and they're telling me about it, I'm telling them about mine, I find that's really momentum building. It's almost like you're building momentum together, you're pushing forward, you're really, really, really enjoying kind of like like it's like having a project buddy where you're just kind of like, or accountability buddy they call it, but I'd rather call it a project buddy. I don't really like the word accountability for some reason, maybe because my mind doesn't like discipline sometimes, but other times it does. So I'm getting into a better habit with that. So yeah, I just really like it because a lot of projects, like I just feel that energy, the creative energy and the intelligence come through, and I find that very attractive usually. um so yeah, so Jay, I'm always I'm a little special baby. Oh, bless you. That's sweet. That's sweet. I think everyone's special as well in their own right, and I think we have to remember this. It's our quirks, it's our nuances, it's our things that are different to other people that make us very, very special, that make us so unique. Whether that's your appearance or your personality or the way you hold yourself, the way you walk into a room. Um, Jay, everyone's a little autistic. Some are just more. Oh, that's a very big statement. Everyone's a little autistic. Some are more. I don't know that I agree with that, but it's very interesting. Very interesting concept. Like I said, I don't know I agree with it, but it's a very interesting concept. It's true. Well, I'm not going to say because I haven't studied that. So, because everyone's mind is different. Right. Okay. So, I mean, are you trying to say that everyone's neurodivergent because everyone's mind's different? Um, Super Ace Man, you agree that everyone's a little bit autistic? Stevie, the word accountability makes me feel like I did something wrong and going to be punished. Maybe that's why I don't like it then. Yeah, I prefer like project buddy. I think that's much better. It's like you're working on projects, even you might be working on projects separately. Jason, that's fine. No, it's a spectrum. Like if you're a certain level, I don't know that necessary or on the spectrum. Hmm. I don't know about that. I'm not going to comment on something I don't know about. My mind's going off on everyone I've met now. Like, can I think they're autistic at all anyway? Do you know what I mean? But yeah, it's not something I have autistic friends, but it's not something there's it's just I know that I'm not the same as them in some things, if you know what I mean. But my personality is going well. But there's something I have to say about this, is that it's okay to be a hyper person naturally without you having to have something wrong with you, or having a mental illness, or having a disability, or having a condition, or being autistic. You can actually just be a naturally hyper person. Do you know what I mean? So a lot of society teaches us that hyper people have got something wrong with them, because actually the majority of society, as far as I understand, is introverted, not actually extroverted. I thought the majority of people were extrovert years ago, and then I had quite an awakening, and I found out that, for example, a lot of business people and entrepreneurs, the majority of those are actually introverted, and they train themselves, for example, in public speaking, they train themselves specifically to come out of their shell for the public speaking. But when the camera's off and they're at home, they're actually a lot more introverted. They are just learning a skill of how to do something, even though it's not natural to them to do that. So I do get a little bit annoyed when some people don't understand that you can actually be something without it being a problem or issue or a condition. I have disabilities, right? Don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with having disabilities. I've got fibromyalgia. I've got generalized anxiety disorder. I was recently diagnosed with PTSD. So I have no problem with disabilities or mental health difficulties or conditions, because I have quite a few of them, clearly. But what really annoys me is when people think that if someone's not quiet or not speaking at a normal tone, or, you know, because they're being loud and they're really talkative and bubbly and hyper, a lot of people seem to have this stigma in society that there's something wrong with that, and there really isn't. A lot of the really successful speakers on stage, for example, they are really hyper. They talk really super fast. I don't know if you know a guy called Tony Robbins. I've seen on stage twice, completely changed my life. He's a very, very, very fast talker. A person, this is on the entrepreneur world a lot of the time, so I don't know if you're into that. Russell Brunson, he owns a company called ClickFunnels, which is it's like sales funnels, which is going into entrepreneurship. But he talks really, really fast too. A lot of the people who are speakers on stage that are really super successful and get the crowd really roaring are the ones that are hyper. They specifically put themselves into a state of being hyper, because if you're monotone like this, and people just get bored and switch off. So but you have to vary your voice up and down so that people don't get bored of it. I used to do radio presenting, by the way, so I was trained in voice work as well a bit. You know, when I say trained, I know how to raise my voice different levels. So Stevie, basically, like, no one is really neurotypical because everyone's mind is different. Yes. Yeah, I understand what you're saying in that respect, that no one's because everyone's mind is different. Jay, no, a spectrum if you're like blah blah blah, much you're classed as disabled. It disables you from acting the norm. Sam, I can't keep up with fast talkers. It takes me time to get things in. Okay. Yeah, I mean, for me, because I'm a fast talker myself, I don't think I talk that fast as I could. But yeah, because I'm a fast talker, I can understand fast talkers. I can understand accents as well really well, that a lot of people have problems with. One of my ex-bosses, he used to be Welsh, and no one could understand what he was saying, but I could understand him really well. So I'm very, very good at being able to understand different dialects, different accents, different people from different countries as well. I mean, obviously I like foreign guys, and I used to have friends who are refugees, and they come to this country and barely know much English. So, you know, when you're doing that, it's hard to talk to someone like that. So although I can be a really fast talker and talk a lot, I can also interact with people who don't know many words of English, because I can just do that. So that's quite a skill in itself, I think. Jay, it's called being Brit. Stevie, the more angry I am, the faster I talk. Super Ace Mike, I understand fast talkers, but I am American. Yeah, a lot of people, Rich, think I'm American because of my personality. And years ago, when I was in my teens, I used to want to be in America. I don't like flying on a plane, but I used to think my personality would be so suitable to America, being on American television and stuff like that. I still think that. But I don't fly on a plane. But because, like, my personality is very, very Americanized, in the sense that I love Americans, because it's like you're hyper. You're known in general, stereotypically, for being hyper, bubbly, energetic, far out, woohoo, high five, let's have free hugs and all this type of stuff, you know. And I really suit that type of personality, because that's how I naturally am, a bubbly type of personality. And you can just really be yourself when you are like that. I really love it. So yeah, You know, and you might know because Tony Robbins, he's American as far as I know. Well, he's from America anyway, and I've been to a lot of business seminars, and the people are there from America. So Sam, when I was a childminder in Scotland, I had to understand Geordie, Welsh, and Scott accents. God, that's a lot. Star, Jay. I keep calling you Star because I just love the word star. I'm naturally quiet, but because of my ADHD, I'm loud. But when I'm calm, I'm quiet. Well, if I'm quiet, I'm unhappy usually, actually. I'm the opposite. So if I'm bubbly, loud, energetic, talkative, it means I'm a naturally happy self, usually, or got into a happy state. If I'm really quiet and not saying much, it's danger sign, really. It's like something's wrong with Sandra. She is not usually this quiet. Occasionally, if I'm interested in a guy, I can get shy. Believe me, shy. If I really like a guy, you know, like younger guys, foreign guys, and I'm talking to him, I can get really shy and I can be a bit speechless and go a bit like blushing. And so yeah, probably don't know that much about me in that way because I don't usually have speechless stuff on this channel. But yeah, so I can get like a shy little schoolgirl guy I like, which is quite funny. But yeah, so usually though, if I go quiet, it means something's wrong. I'm not happy. There's something definitely wrong with me if I'm quiet. So you don't want to be loud, Jay. Oh, I love being loud. I love being loud. Actually, one of the major reasons why I'm loud is because my granddad, who is my dad's dad, not alive anymore in this planet Earth, he was deaf and had a hearing aid. And so I was taught from a young kid to project my voice and to be loud so he could hear me. And so I've always had this loud voice because that's how I was like needed to be anyway. And then I just grew to like it. But up to the age of 10, I was a very shy girl. I wasn't that talkative. I couldn't even be in groups or around people. I probably could never have done anything like this. You know what I mean? At 10, I decided to change myself. I'm like, I'm miserable being this. I'm miserable being this shy kid who doesn't speak to anyone apart from the bars on the wall and who leads a very introverted life back then. I was miserable doing that. And I specifically, consciously decided I wanted to change myself because I wasn't happy with who I am and I couldn't. And then I changed myself again in my teens when I got into radio presenting. So I've changed myself quite a few times in my life on purpose. So yeah, so it's interesting, Jay, that you don't want to be loud. But yeah, because you're calm when you're quiet. Yeah. Stevie Valley Girl. Jason, Americans. Super. Your accent is Brit, none of American accents. Yeah. I mean, but some people like it's true. But you can obviously have British people in America, but obviously you probably have an American accent then. But I guess like I've been on Twitter before years ago. I'm still on Twitter, but I was on there years ago and they thought I was American just because of the way I speak in tweets. Like I use the word hey quite a lot. It's not what you say in the UK. You say hi, you don't say hey, but I say hey quite a bit. Um uh if I like, that's a bit obvious, Jay. If I like a girl, I like stutter, but if I like a girl, I like stutter, but the gaze hides, so I just hide the feelings. Did you say, but the gaze hides, so I just hide the feelings? Oh, gay vibes. Sam, I'm just generally quiet all the time. Sam, I must make tea. Be right back. Okay. Wait, how do you take your tea? Milk and strong. Are you going to make one? Oh, bless. I've only got this bit of water left. Look at me. Got this tiny bit of water left. How many sugars? Oh, yeah, I'm allergic to sugar. Me personally, but I don't have, usually none, but currently 2. Demira. Oh, that's good for keeping energy. But yes. So we must embrace our quirkiness and we must embrace our individuality, our nuances, and really like lean into who we are as a person. Like clearly in the chat, people like different things. Like I like being loud. I enjoy being loud. I actually like noise. I like a lot of action. I like a lot of, but I am actually very quiet when I'm on my own because I don't have anyone else here. So I'm like, unless I put music on. Sometimes I put music on, right? Because music really helps me. It's like therapy for my soul. Um, so yeah, so for me personally, like you say to Jay that it's a bit obvious that I'd be like more shy around a guy I like. I don't know that it would be that obvious because it's not obvious to me anyway. If I, even though I am me, it's not obvious to me because it's like I'm really bubbly, loud, energetic, kind of confident in a lot of ways. But it's because I'm a hyper romantic, and when I'm with a younger guy, I'm like the younger one, if that makes sense. So it doesn't really matter what birth certificate age he is. Although my birth certificate age is going to be older than him, in my mindset, I'm like younger one. So, and so therefore, I kind of feel shyer because I feel like I'm younger than him. Whereas normally I wouldn't think that in a, well, I wouldn't think that in a romantic way, put it that way. So I wouldn't have any bearing on my feelings and how I was, if you know what I mean. It's very difficult to explain. Jay, you're a demi-romantic. Oh yeah, I've had the last guy I was interested in, he was demi-romantic, but unfortunately that didn't end very well. So, well, I guess it ended well because we're not in contact anymore, and that's the best for me. But it wasn't the outcome I expected, put it that way. So so yeah. So, but it's really important that as well that if and when we get into a relationship, if we want a relationship, we get someone who accepts us for who we are and loves us with all our nuances and all our quirks and all our idiosyncrasies. Is that how you pronounce it? Because we want to still retain our identity, and sometimes in a relationship you can lose your own identity. I've done that in the past. I mean, that was with a heterosexual guy. I haven't actually been in a official long-term proper relationship with an asexual. I mean, I met this guy a long time ago, a few years ago, and we had an online relationship for like a month, and I never actually met him in person. But I'm not even sure he was really asexual because when I started saying I wouldn't be taking my clothes off when I met him, that's when he changed his personality. So I'm thinking he probably wasn't actually asexual, or he certainly wasn't a good guy for me. So Jay, I fell in love with someone and I didn't know. Oh, bless you. Yeah, I mean, I thought I'd be really suited to a demi-romantic because the reason I love that is because demi-romantics, my experience, can only like the two guys that have liked me. They can only love one or be interested in romantically in one girl at a time. And I really like that. I'm unfortunately or fortunately, like I've got to love myself, right? So I'm a hyper romantic and I have feelings for my friends usually, like some feelings for most of my friends, not necessarily all of them, but close friends. So ones I talk to quite a bit. So I might be a bit romantically attracted to one, I might be aesthetically attracted to another, I might have intelligence attraction for another, which is actually true. And, but it's annoying because it's like I don't want to be in a relationship with these people. I'm not right to be in a relationship with these people. They're not right to be in a relationship with me. And clearly that wouldn't work and it's not right and it's weird because it's my friends and I don't want to be thinking that about my friends, but it's just the way it is for me. And if I try, this is all about being authentic again and being true to who you are and not being normal like everyone else, right? Because we can't be normal. If I repress that and if I try and block out the fact that I do have those feelings, it's just worse. They just get so intense, it's unbearable. So if I just say to my friends, like, I get attracted to my friends, it's just like the way I am, I don't want to be, but that's it. And even might tell my friends what attraction I feel for them. I'm just telling them that as a fact, not as I want to be in a relationship with them, because to me it's just better. It just doesn't hold any weight and I can let it go and I can have a better life. I do it for me really because otherwise it just gets so intense and it's just ridiculous because it's like it can't go anywhere. So I need to dilute that and disperse. Is that the right word? And so in order to do that, I have to tell the people usually, and then it just dilutes and goes away usually, or it dies down, or it doesn't ever totally go away. It's always there a little bit, but it's not relevant, you know? Sam, I found an amazing partner who sets me for who I am, and I then, yeah, it's really good, Sam, that you've got each other, the asexual love of your life. Jay, she was 5 years older than me, straight and going away. Oh, bless you. I'm so sorry. That's what it's like with you. Only one person. And as well, when I did realise I'm never gonna see her again, like, oh, bless you, Jay. Oh, that's so sad. Like, the guy, I don't know if you followed my personal story, but the guy that I liked was demi-romantic, asexual Indian guy. I've always wanted to be with an Indian asexual guy, and he lived in the USA. But, you know, he changed his mind and personality with me, basically. So yeah, it was no good. But it was really, I felt really sad. I'm still not fully over him. I thought I was. I went back on Facebook dating, but I came off because I'm still not fully over him, and I don't want to go to another relationship or carry on dating when I'm not fully over the last guy. And I'm trying to think of my career and other help more asexuals, you know, which is much better than, you know. So I came off the dating app because I met a Indian guy in the UK on it who's not asexual, and as soon as he said he wasn't asexual, I started then saying about, I met this guy I thought was my Indian asexual soulmate, and I just burst into tears. Not, I mean, he didn't hear me burst into tears, but you know, I just like, oh my god. So takes 3 months to fall in love. Not for me, it doesn't, because I'm a hyper romantic. So it doesn't take 3 months for me to fall in love at all. You know, and it takes me ages to stop loving someone. As a hyper romantic, I don't have any platonic attraction whatsoever. I don't experience it. So everyone else has the stage where they have friendship feelings usually before. They would usually have some friendship feelings before a relationship. That's not how it is for me. It doesn't work like, because I'm a hyper romantic. It's very difficult to explain, but it's the way I am. I'm proudly different, but it's hard. You know, it's not easy. I can fall in love with a drop of a hat. I'm usually not as bad because I don't try to put myself in those positions. But with the Indian asexual guy, he said too that he was my soulmate, and yeah, that's what happened. And it was really quick. And he said he was demi-romantic, hyper-romantic was how he identified. Demi-romantic, hyper-romantic, grey asexual was how he fully identified. And the other guy I met was a demi-romantic, hyper-romantic, grey asexual as well. Very interesting combination. So they both had the same combination. One's British and one was Indian. But I want to be with an Indian guy. I still want to be with an Indian guy now, even though he wasn't the right one for me. Super ace man, think of yourself. Thank you. How long does it usually take to fall out of love? Well, for me, it's different because I'm a hyper romantic. Like, I still have feelings for the guy that I wished I didn't. So I just don't really want to think about it. But yeah. Prior to my current partner, I've only been in love one other time, and that took 5 years. Yeah, I mean, with the guy I was in a relationship with for 8.5 years, it took me 18 months to 2 years to get over him. 2 years to fully get over him. But I mean, even now, he sometimes appears in my dreams, even though I don't want to be with him, and he wasn't a good guy for me, you know, because I talk about him on this channel a lot because he's the last person I had sex with, because I have had sex in the past, but this was like 10 years ago. When we split up in November 2011, it's now 2021, August 2021. So nearly 10 years. 5 years to get over the girl I like. Oh, bless you. Yeah, I mean, I wish, yeah, I mean, is there no chance you could ever meet her? You know, so no chance you could ever be with her now you've realised. But if she's going away, you know, I guess not, unless you could move to be with her. Do you know what I mean? But it's really sad when that happens. You know, really sad. It took you 5 years to get over. I mean, it's very inappropriate. Too young to move. Oh, right, okay. Yeah, I mean, I moved out of home when I was 19 years old, and with my boyfriend when I was 19, teenager, out of home with my parents. So if you were over 19, then for me, that's not too young. Because like I said, I moved out of home when I was 19 years old, teenager still, you know, so that's, you know, and people leave home even earlier. than that sometimes. So, you know, I left home. Oh, you're younger than 19. Oh, okay. No worries. Yeah. And you can't just move for enough. I mean, people can't just, oh, you're a little baby. Okay. Okay. Yeah, not everyone can move, obviously. Like, I'm a non-mover, but so, you know, I'm a little baby. She is 19. Who is she? Are you two different people? Because you're saying that one's saying I'm a little baby, and then she's 19. Sam, I never ever had a relationship until I was 26. Jay, she gone to uni. Oh, I'm getting confused now. Is Jay's they're saying a little baby and she's 19? Oh, she, I'm on about the girl. Oh, right. I understand. You're on about the girl you like. She is 19. Ah, right. And she's gone to uni. Oh, bless you. Jay's a baby. I'm with you now. I wasn't understanding before. I thought there was like two people on one account or something. Yeah. Because I've done dating before in the past, and I've had two guys use the same account, like their brother and their little brother, talking to me for the same account. Baby Jay. Raw, that would never happen. Yeah, it's weird. Like when I did this dating site, it's like a younger guy and his his older brother I was talking to. Then all of a sudden, I said I like younger guys. And the younger brother started messaging me through his account. It was very bizarre, very weird. But I didn't know who I was talking to in the end. I'm like, who am I talking to? But yes, I understand now. Thank you, Sam. Jay is the baby, and the girl is 19. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's a shame, isn't it? Things happen the way it does. But is there any chance, like, years later that you might meet up or something? But I guess if there's quite a big age difference, then maybe not. But yeah, oh, it's really sad. I know the you don't know. I know the Indian guy, he used to say, "Oh, it's gonna take me years to get over you," basically. And it's like, why then don't you even wanna be with me anymore if you say it's gonna take years to get over me? It doesn't make friggin' sense, but never mind. But, I'm better off without someone like that who doesn't value my worth. Jay, the worst thing was she was a literal teacher thing at my school. Oh, right, okay. She was a teacher. Oh, bless you. Oh, I hope I see her again. Oh, bless you. Oh dear. Well, all I can say is that the people that come in our life, if they're meant to be in our life, will stay in our life, will come back in life. If they're not, then we will move on and find someone better for us, you know? Because sometimes we're just not meant to be with someone. And however much we think we might meant to be with someone at the time, we need to move on. You know, like I thought I would try Facebook dating because I thought I'd moved on from the Indian asexual guy and I thought, oh, I'm fine now. But then when I realized I wasn't, I don't want to take that pain and upset and, you know, to a new relationship. So I've just stopped doing that. But I want to make sure my heart's fully open to be able to love again someone else. But I can't do that if it's still got the old person in my heart in some way, right? So I need to like completely really try and get over him as much as possible before moving on to another relationship. Um Now like a helper thing. Ah, okay, maybe it was meant for me to realize I'm gay. Yes, Jay. Sometimes things happen in our life for us to realize something, you know, and whatever it is, like some people are sent as like messengers to us, like even if they're not the person that's right for us to be in there, they teach us a lesson or they bring something into our life, something happens. Like I've been going through a lot of things I can't talk about personally, but I believe that clearly I've been on the wrong path, gone on the wrong path, and that something is steering me towards a completely different path that I need to be on, or be on the path that I'm on now when I'm home here. But I was going off somewhere else, and I can't talk about it, so it's really difficult to say. But anyway, I went to a different path, and it looks like it was the wrong one for me to go on. So God, the universe or whatever, has said, hang on a minute, you're not going on that. Broke my ankle. And like, you need to go on this path instead. So sometimes, even through adversity and heartbreak and pain, we actually are able to gain some clarity on our life, able to self-reflect, and able to move on to a different part of our life and a different path, even if it's damn scary at times. Um, Sam, it was only after meeting my partner I'm with now that I fully got over and let go of my ex. Oh, bless you. I didn't know that. Wow. That's interesting that when you met your partner, you got over them. Yeah, I mean, they do say in general, for example, with dating, that the way to get over someone is get with someone else because then you can, like that other person just becomes irrelevant. Um, but for me, I at the stage I'm at the moment, it's too soon. I mean, this guy I met in June, I only knew him for about a month, to be honest. But when you think you've met your soulmate, you feel like you've known them all your life. Because I've been looking for my Indian asexual soulmate since 2014, and I honestly thought he was a guy, and I thought all those feelings that I'd had for like 7 years led to him. Therefore, I thought he was my actual soulmate, and that I'd known him for a long time. And so that's and like I said, I can fall in love very quickly, and I can get love feelings, and I can love someone quickly, and they it might be quick to come on, but it's not necessarily quick to go. Like sometimes it can take me 8 months on average just to get over someone that I'd have love feelings for very quickly. To even consider being a friend with them, or I can't be friends with them at all ever. Jay, it's difficult to move on without closure. Oh, bless you. Sam, I still had her letters and stuff to me. I had a box of them and finally got rid of them last year. I didn't know that. I really didn't know that. I'm glad you told me that because I know you're not into women anyway, so I didn't know that. That's really interesting. I mean, I still find some things of my ex and that, but I just tear them up. If I find some stuff, I'm like, oh god, I didn't realize I had that. But it's really good to get rid of old stuff. But I'm sorry, Jay, that you've had that experience. But like you said, I'm sure it is to realize that you're gay, because without experience, you wouldn't have realized it. Whereas for me, for me, I've realized that I've got to work on my mindset, and I've got to work and pursue my career fully, 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 like my self-employed career. Um, and my dreams. I need to go for my dreams, and I need to stop focusing on dating and relationships, which is very difficult as a hyper romantic because it's kind of part of who I am, and focus on my own thing. Like Sam, I find certain women attractive. I just prefer male or non-binary folk. Yeah, it's just that she had long hair and stuff, didn't she? So she was very feminine looking, if you know what I mean. And I know you don't usually go for feminine people. Jay, have like a barrier up so I don't fall for girls. Oh, bless you. Um, Non-binary hose. What does that mean? What does non-binary hose mean? There's nothing wrong with being non-binary. My best friend's non-binary. They're not hose. I've never heard of the word non-binary hose. It doesn't sound very nice. It's not something I would use. Hose is not a nice word. It's like tart and stuff like that. Oh, you're non-binary yourself. I've only used the word hose heard in really not very nice cases. So yeah, my friend Sam's non-binary as well. So is her partner, agender. Yeah. So but I've only heard the word hose in as a derogatory term, a bad term. Your Generation Z. I don't even know what Generation Z is. I thought Generation Z was old, not young. Sam, a non-binary agender. Ho usually refers to sexually promiscuous people. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, well, Generation Z does whatever. I don't know that. Some person asked me on Twitter, am I generation And my generation Z, I didn't know, I didn't even look it up, and they were saying because they didn't understand young people, so as far as I understood it, it was an older person. Um, but yeah, um, I wouldn't associate the word host with any non-binary people, like, because it's not a very nice term, I don't think. But there we go. Um, Stevie, Generation X is 1965 to 1980. So if J's Generation Z, how can they be a baby? Generation Z is young peeps like me, and C is my gen as well. Oh, your Generation Z, and Stevie said Generation X. Oh, that's probably why I'm getting mixed up. Generation X is 1965 to 1980. All right, okay. Generation Z is young people. All right, okay. You're not X then. Yeah. Millennial is before 1997, I think. Why can't people just use normal plain language? It's like, oh dearie me. But yes, um, you're a millennial. Um, yeah, I'm just me. So I don't like my birth certificate age. Oh, you're the new gen. I don't like my birth certificate age, so it's nothing like who I am, so I don't go by it, you know? So I'm just not interested in it. Okay, boomer. I don't even know what that means. But anyway, so yeah, so I think it's really important to be true to who you are and to love the life you live. And yeah, if something doesn't fit you, then it doesn't fit you. Like I just said about my birth certificate age, for example, I'm really not interested in my birth certificate age. Like some people say, "How old are you?" And I'm like, I don't talk about my birth certificate age because it's really not who I am. I'm not interested in it. Other people are more interested in it than I am, and I'm not interested in it. So why do I need to talk about something I'm not interested in? And it has no relevance to my life. To me, it's a piece of paper, and I'm really glad that I'm alive because I wasn't. I couldn't help you, but I don't like it. You know, it's just nothing like who I am, and I've got the experience behind it, but other than that, you know, I'm a different life now. So, Stevie, see, I enjoy talking to people older than me. Ah, same. Yeah, I'm the youngest here, says Jake. I like younger. Well, I like I've got my best female friend. She's like a completely different decade to what I'm in. She's older than me. Heterosexual, not asexual. But but um But yeah, I like with guys, for example, I'm attracted to guys who are in their early to mid 20s. Ideally, probably 23 to 28 is my limit. I like guys who are around 21 to 23, but sometimes the guys who are 21, they're just too young. As in they don't know what they want. Guys who are 23, 24 tend to know what they want. Like they tend to be more serious about a relationship. They tend to have like be finishing uni and stuff like that then. Not all of them, but some of them. Um, so Stevie, I'm like a Gen Z grandma. Are you? Oh wow, you always come across as really young to me, Stevie. Like even your title, Stevie Nicks as a freaking legend, comes across as young. J Star, is it okay for a 20 to date a 25? I'm thinking about the future if I do get a chance with her. Of course it's okay. I'm a little baby here. Of course it's okay for you to do that. Yeah. Providing they want that as well. Obviously, you've got to know that if that's what they want as well. Um, but yeah, it's fine, you know, it's fine. Like it's relationships are not about age specifically. They're about um how you identify yourself in your life. So basically it's to do with what you've got in common with that person. So, for example, with me, I've got much more in common with younger guys than guys anywhere near my best of age. To me, it's just a joke. I'm nothing like those guys that are near my best of age. It's to me, it's like they're my dad's age, even though they're technically not in birth certificate age. It's just like I don't date my dad. Obviously, that'd be gross. Um, But to me, it's like guys anywhere near my birth certificate age are like a father type guy, and I'm just not interested. I don't want to touch guys that age. I don't want to be near guys that age. I mean, there is an older guy that comes to my asexual meetups, and I will hug him hello and goodbye. I'm used to being around him more now, right? But in general, I don't usually do that because I feel so uncomfortable. I went to this dance once. It was it was like kind of like foreign dancing, and this instructor basically made me believe that I would be dancing with him. He was older than I would usually go for. I was going to say he was older than me because obviously I think I'm 21. But yeah. Anyway, I think he was in his 30s. And anyway, so basically, I thought I was going to be dancing with him. And when I got there and he found out I didn't want sex, basically, and wasn't that type of girl, then I had to dance with older blokes, people in the room. And I hated it. I did not want to touch older blokes. I did not want to hold hands with them. I did not want to touch their bodies with dancing, even though dancing is dancing. I just didn't, and I hated it. Even there was a woman who danced with me, who took the male role, and I'm not a lesbian, but I was more comfortable with doing that with her than I was older blokes, because I just can't stand it. And it just made me feel so bad that I've never gone back since, because I just hated it. I started doing freestyle dancing when everyone else was coupled up because I just thought I can't hack it. Stevie, I mean, I'm 20, but I feel older. Oh, bless you. Oh, I thought you were younger. Didn't you say the other day that you were young? Oh, that's great. Sam, I'm 28 and my partner is 24 in a couple of weeks. Happy birthday to them. We're both happy and have plenty in common. It's the best relationship I've had. Jay, any woman I'll dance with. Oh, bless you. Oh, yeah, I love dancing, but I'm only attracted to guys. But yeah, I do love dancing. It's nice. Very nice. Apart from I broke my ankle dancing, so I can't dance at the moment. Stevie, I don't know when I'm 50, I'm going to own my age, especially since many other women don't feel comfortable. Yeah, I mean, my best female friend, she had her 50th birthday a couple of years ago. So she kind of doesn't really worry about stuff like that. But for me, I don't actually like it, my birth certificate, because it's nothing like who I am. And then people treat me like that birth certificate age, and it just really revolts me. And I just hate it. And they just go on. There was one guy I told, because I've sold some stuff online through Facebook Marketplace, and one guy came to pick up some stuff from mug from me, and I was trying to sell him like an add-on thing which was very similar for elephants. And I have this cuddly toy elephant that my dad got me when I was like still at school, and he was like, how long have you had this cuddly toy? And I told him, and then he was like, oh, so what age are you then? And so I felt compelled. He kept going on about it, and I didn't want to tell him. And I told him in the end, but I just felt awful telling him. I hated it, which is why I don't tell people, because I don't want to. This show's all about being authentic, and I don't want to, because it's not who I am. And he didn't believe me anyway. He just kept saying, no, you're never that age. I wouldn't have thought you were that age. I thought you were blah. I think he thought I was 24. And so, he's like, no, he's finding it really hard to believe. And I'm like, well, yeah. And I didn't like it, because then he just automatically changed, and I just hated it. I just hate it. The dynamics completely changed. But when my new Asexual Guide to Sex book comes out, when I have interviews for it, for example, they might expect me to reveal my birth certificate age, because I have got my birth certificate age revealed on an article I was in the Daily Mirror. You can probably still find the article online. It's Asexual Cougar, actually, because I like younger guys. And I was in the Daily Star as well. And so yeah, the woman said in order to do the article, I'd have to give my birth certificate age, and I was so annoyed, but I did it for asexuality, and to help asexuals, because I will always put asexuals first, even though I didn't like it. But it was either do that or it doesn't get published, and I want to make people aware of asexuality, so I did it. So when I get interviewed for my Asexual Guide to Sex book, I might have to say my birth certificate age, because they seem obsessed with it. Journalists like, oh, it's all to do with your age. So I'll probably have to say it then, but I won't like it. I'm expecting that I'll probably have to do that, so I'm preparing myself for it, because it's kind of like, I think I'm gonna have to say it, but you know, in order to help asexuals, otherwise some articles and stuff I just won't happen. So, you know, it's kind of a sacrifice I have to make, really. And it'll probably go in my favour, my burst of age, because I've got a lot of experience of life. And so therefore a lot of asexuals can be secure in the knowledge that I do have experience of what I'm talking about. Like I was in heterosexual relationships for years of my life, so I've got all that experience of being with heterosexuals as well, and even having sex in the past, even though I was clearly asexual from a young age and didn't realise it. Stevie, I don't know when oh sorry, Jay, my parents are older than 50 and they are just chilling. That's really good. Sam, my dad is in his 70s but doesn't act like it. He's still active and behaves like he's considerably younger most of the time. That's really good. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't really like chilling. I like to be on the go doing something all the time. I get bored so easily. Um, I like to be busy and stuff. Your ants like that. Oh, bless. So, like, for me, like, I know a guy anywhere near my burst of age would probably like a quiet life, maybe in the countryside, put his feet up, take part in nature, go for nature walks, maybe look through museums, and maybe live in the countryside. I think I said that already. And you know, and kind of like you said, chilling and taking everything in their stride and not really doing that much apart from hobbies and interests, photography, maybe that type of thing. And it's like all that stuff is just not what I'm into. Like it's just like completely not what I'm into. I'm like a city girl. If I hadn't got a broken ankle, I was able to go clubbing because I'm not vaccinated, so they've changing the rules in the UK. But if I was, you know, I'd be go clubbing, and I would be like, I like going to theme parks, zoos, aquariums, out for meals to the cinema. I don't. To be honest, I'm not interested in history personally, apart from the history of um medicine I did at school. But I'm not interested in history because to me that's the past, and I'm a futuristic girl, so that's why I like science museums because it's more about the future. Even though there's some stuff about the past in there, I prefer that. You know, I'm a futuristic girl. The music I listen to is usually 90s and upwards. I like reggaeton, I like Latin music, I like dance, I like club. I'm literally like got the same interests as most guys in their 20s. I like guys in their 20s because they usually educate themselves, they're usually at uni, they're usually doing courses. I like that vibrancy and energy. I don't want to be with the guys just sat at home watching TV. It just bore the hell out of me. I'm not interested in nature. I don't. The thing is that's different for me is I don't like flying on a plane. I'm not interested in going around the world. Whereas most younger guys, they want to do some traveling. So that is a different thing for me. I'm settled more where I live. But who knows? It might all change in the next year. Um, Sam, I don't like to be chilling. I like to be doing stuff. Yes, me and Sam are very similar on that. Even though we do different stuff, we're very similar in that aspect. Usually working on my projects, hate doing nothing. Yeah, Jay, my parents have done a lot already. um, go make something. You have to arrange a meet up at Exeter Museum for me to attend. I will arrange a meet up, Sam. You just have to say when, and I will do it, as you know. I've already said that for sure because I have done an asexual meetup at the museum in Exeter before. Um, you know, Exeter's in the UK in Devon. So you know, there's a museum which is near Central Station actually, and it's free in Exeter in the UK to go around. And I have done an asexual meetup before around it. So Mordecai, who's the guy who usually comes to my asexual meetups, he's already been to it because he came last time. Um, and you know, yeah, in Devon, yeah. Stevie, I want to be in the desert. It's like a wild zoo. See, that's so different to me. It's like I don't ever want to retire, which might shock you. I do not want to retire. To me, that's normal and boring. I do not want to do that. I want to be writing books. I want to be streaming like on this channel. I want to be just like doing it forever. I just get so bored easy. I'd be bored rigid. You know what I mean? Stevie, luckily in the US we have like every environment. Yeah, I mean, I I used to live out in the countryside and I hated it. It's not who I am. It's not my personality. I didn't know why. I mean, I didn't know why I was so miserable back then. But obviously, to me now, one of the reasons was because I lived in the countryside. It's just totally the opposite of my personality. For all the reasons people love the countryside, there's a reason I don't. I don't like open spaces, too much space. It freaks me out. I don't like being in the middle of nowhere with no one near me. I like to be around people. Um, I feel like an alien or weird just out in the middle of nowhere, not being even noticed. So for me, it's the opposite. In a city, I like to be noticed. I like attention. But even if I'm not speaking to anyone, I just get energy from being around people. Just having people like even in street that I never even speak to, I just feel better that way. It energizes me because I'm an extrovert. I'm not an introvert. So being out in the sticks and being like in the wilderness, it just like really doesn't suit me. It's like it's not me at all, you know. It like ugh, just like I'm not even. I do like Exeter though because I have a little bit of nature like on my doorstep, so I obviously have a little bit of interest in that because I have the quayside, and people like would pay to see what I see at the quayside. Right in the quayside in Exeter, it's so beautiful. It's got water and it's got pubs and places to eat there. I can't always eat there though because like it's not really the type of food I would usually eat, but I can get a snack basically. And so, you know, and so, but it's got like lots of fields and bridges and lots of people. And it's got like water, but it's got ducks and swans and geese. And there was a moorhen I saw the other, I think it was moorhen I saw the other day, which was amazing. And was it, I can't remember. It's like there's a jay. I think it was a jay, the bird jay, I think it was. Um, Sam, I will message you via Facebook about it. We'll have to do a 1 day trip, so can't afford overnight with needing to save. Oh, that'd be really good, Sam. Oh, please do that. Yeah, because I saw some tickets. I'm going off on a tangent here. I saw some tickets for Exeter and London, booking a month in advance. So were £13.60, I think, each way. They were under 14 quid each way. So you could, in effect, come to Exeter for less than 30 quid for the day. And we could certainly do it in a day anyway. So yeah. And because it's cool, that was directly from London, going back to London. Um, but yeah, so I can definitely do that. It'd be great. It'd be good, really good. Because I did an asexual, even though I'm not personally into history, I will go round. I went round with another friend, our mutual best friend as well. So I will do that. But the thing is, if I'm going to do something, I have to do it properly. So when I did the last asexual meetup with the museum, I saw everything. Like this woman who wanted to go to it, she was like, "Oh, I think I'm finished now. I think I've seen enough." And I'm like, well, I want to see it all now because that's what I'm like. It's like, I'm going to come all that way. I'm going to do something I wouldn't usually do. I want to see every bit of it because it's like, I want to give it my max and all, you know? And so, you know, and I can be like, you know, I can like it as in other people are that enjoying themselves, you know what I mean? Um, so yeah, it'd be great. I'd love to hear about you coming for that, Sam. Um, Jay, you're an introvert. I think the majority of people in the asexual community are introverted. But you know, like I'm one of the few extroverts in the asexual world, I think. Stevie, see, I love growing plants like flowers, fruit, vegetables, etc. Sam, I'm also an introvert, very much so. Um, Stevie, there's sticks in my home, and right now it's so vibrant. Oh, Sam, the geese and swans scared me when I was walking back to the hotel after dropping you off before. Oh, where do you usually do your meetups? So I do them in my city in Exeter, and people come from all over the country to them. So they will come from London. They will come from one guy lives local. I think he's in Oakhampton. Most people come to my city from other cities. Not many people actually live in my city that actually come to my meetups usually. But I've got a person from Plymouth who's just connected with me, and they want to come to one of my meetups. I don't know if they like museums though, but they definitely want to come. At the moment, I've still got one crutch, but I've got to be so because I've broke my ankle, so I'm still going around with one crutch. But it's like I can get around there anyway because it's like it's not very difficult. Even if I need a crutch. But I'm meant to. The physio ideally wants me off both crutches by the end of this month. So you know, I should be hopefully off crutches by September anyway. Sam, I travel about 200 miles usually to them, but I'm about 30 miles closer since I moved. Yeah, you'll be closer. Yeah, I haven't looked at, I looked at tickets for Exeter and London, was it about a week or two ago? And there were some really good deals. I'm like, wow, it's really good. So they definitely were there, and I thought, wow, that's a really good price. But I mean, for me personally, at the moment, with my ankle, I mean, I'm not hardly going out, but I need to go out a bit more walking anyway because my ankle's still got some fluid, it's still got some swelling. My friend still comes and does the food shopping for me twice a week, so I don't have to carry anything heavy or anything. But I do need to get out more anyway. So, um, you know, so yeah, so far that's 3 hours, 300 miles. Yeah. So why are you going to come? Stevie, one time I saw 30 deer running into the woods after eating in the cornfield. Luckily, they didn't come towards the road slash country problems. Sam, I travelled over 300 miles several times in 2019 to meet someone I dated briefly. Yeah, Sam's really good at travelling, aren't you, Sam? Well, I know you've had a little bit of more difficulty with that lately, but in general, you're really good with travelling, you know? So yeah, Sam, I looked into traveling up to Birmingham for a meetup. Yeah, I mean, I keep getting more and more people interested in coming for a meetup in Exeter, so it's definitely worth me doing because people are like, "When are you doing meetups now, Sandra?" It's only because my ankle's been problematic that I haven't really, but you know, I'm sure I can get around. Like I said, I've got to be the ideally the physio wants me off crutches by the time he sees me next on the 1st of September. I don't know if I will be off both crutches. I might if I still need to use one, I need to use one. But the museum, you know, like you can get around it anyway. How often how often you do them? So with my asexual meetups, I used to do one every 2 or 3 months. I think it's usually on average every 3 months, so 4 times a year. Sometimes it can be more because I could do local ones as well as national ones. So, but the ones where people come like Sam, that's a national meetup, so anyone from the UK can come. Obviously, when they had like pandemic and they had tables numbers. Some of them you can only have 6 per table, but now it's opened up. You can have more now. Um, so I'm currently looking at Exeter, Oxford, and London meets in the next couple of months. Oh, that's great. That's really good, Sam. I'm happy to hear that. So Stevie, it takes at least half an hour to get towards the nearest grocery store, and we have no public transit. Oh gosh. Sam, no public transport at all. That's crazy if you're out that far. Yeah, I mean that's the thing I didn't like about being out in the countryside is I don't drive. So unless I waited for a bus, I couldn't do anything unless my parents would take me anywhere. So I was out in the sticks, you know. I could walk to the beach, which took me about 25 minutes, but you know what I mean? I couldn't really go anywhere. So, you know, I relied on them quite a lot to go anywhere. So I much prefer where I live now because I've got easy access to cinemas, trains, 3 train stations. I might say one's 5 minutes from where I live, but the major one's about 25 minutes from where I live. You know, and yeah, so I got a free museum. I got clubs I can't go to at the moment, but yeah. Cinema's great. You know, I just love where I live because I can easily get anywhere really by public transport or bus or something. But yeah. Um but yeah, it'll be good to see you, Sam. We'll be so looking forward to that. I was so excited. It'll be so awesome. It'll be so good to catch up with you. After I like to visit the US as I have a couple of friends over there, but unlikely as I don't like guns or flying. Yeah, the guns are pretty scary, aren't they? Pretty scary. Pretty scary, scary, scary. But yeah, I do think if I lived in London, I could go to the asexual meet. I could run asexual meetups in London, but then who would look after the southwest area? God. But there's more and more people. Like I've got someone who I just like I said connect on Facebook. They're really desperate to have a meetup because they really want to meet other people. I've got someone who actually lives in Exeter. They wanted to come to a meetup. I think they want to meet. They also want to meet me separately, just me and them. They work near where I live, so that's really good. Um, and there's some other people that want to come as well. I know that. So, Stevie, we have the tracks, but the trains just carry cargo. Jay, you should do an online thing. Jay, I do Asexualized Academy Club, which is a paying members club, and I do meetups in there as part of membership. So I run 5 free asexual groups, and I run a 6th group, which is a paying members group. You get a free journal every month, meetups every month, and I'm live streaming there every day with personal and professional, well, personal development stuff, usually mindset, self-love, positivity, productivity, all this type of stuff. So I'm like, literally, I'm streaming daily in that group all the time. So that's one of the benefits of joining the group, but it's for paying members only. Like, it's an exclusive club, so I spend a lot of time in there because obviously people are paying me to do that. So it's like live coaching every single day. You get like inspirational quotes and questions for the soul journal. You might have seen my video about the mind self journal yesterday, which is, which is like a much bigger adaptation of something I already done in the club. So yeah, I have done in the past. I've done, I think, is it 2 or 3 meetups out before I got the club. But the people that pay for the club, obviously, the money that goes from that goes towards keeping my internet going, the websites I do for asexual, so it all gets ploughed back into asexuality, which is, like book cover design, which I've got to pay for typesetting and stuff like that for Asexual Guide to Sex. So it's very important that I have membership site for people who want to develop and grow themselves and who want meetups regularly, because I get so many people messaging me and all the time. I can't divide my time into every single person. So therefore we have like meetups within the group, and it's safe and secure then as well. Sam. We see on TV people jumping on cargo trains in the US and jump off them when it gets to where they want to go. Is that real? Stevie had a grandpa who has of like a safe of 100 rifles. Yikes. Ooh, that is yikes. Jay, I've been playing the ukulele for like less than a week and I'm getting good. Congratulations, Joe. That's amazing. Sounds like, whoa, that's a whole lot of guns. Yeah, my dad actually has got a shotgun license. My dad owns a gun, and that's in the UK. A shotgun he owns. But yeah, so that's another story. But Stevie, that's from like the Great Depression. The guns. I thought it was still a common thing. Yeah. Yeah, because Ace Man Rich, who I think, I'm not sure if he's still on Facebook, but he has a gun as well. He lives in the USA. So yeah. But isn't it really interesting? We have guns, but I don't use them. Yeah, I get scared around guns and stuff like that because it's not something that is comfortable for me. I don't like being with a guy that's got any knives or chains or anything like that. Like in the past, some of my exes have had knives under their bed and stuff, and other type of weapon stuff. I'm like, I really do not want to be having that type of boyfriend ever again, because like, he could easily do something to me if he's got that type of thing under his bed. Why the hell has he got that under a type of bed? Usually it's been paranoid guys who got, and people, but not necessarily. One of them was paranoid, but usually it's like they're afraid of something, so they have weapons under their mattress, under their bed, and I'm like, oh my god, it freaks me out. It really does, and I'm like, I just don't want to be with that type of guy again. Actually, talking of that, there was a guy I went on a date with to the museum that me and Sam's going to go to. This is years ago, and I was thinking to myself, if this guy knew me, he knew that I'm not really into history museums. Yeah, he's taking me there for a face date. So at that point in time, I went, I'll be as serious as possible with the asexual meetup. But at that point in time, I was just taking the mickey a lot of the time because I couldn't take it seriously. And so I was kind of laughing a lot around. I wasn't like that with the asexual meetup. I was taking it seriously, right? Very seriously. But when I was with him, I just couldn't do nothing but laugh. And I guess it's partly because I was thinking, we've come on a date for a romantic relationship and you're taking me to a history museum. I didn't feel that's very romantic. But anyway, we were talking, and then he started saying that he's got all these things under his bed. I think it was knives or something. And I'm like, oh my God, I just couldn't be with a guy like that. Also, I have ducks. I used to have ducks come and visit me every year, and so anyone who eats duck, I don't really want a guy who eats duck either, because I know some people do, but it's just like when I was a kid, I had these two ducks visiting every year, and to me, it's like eating my friends, because they were like my friends as a kid because I didn't have any friends. So to me, it's like you're eating my friends. Stop eating my friend. I don't like the smell of duck either. It's gross. That's a really personal thing. But yeah, the guy had knives or something under his bed and ate duck. I'm like, no, I just can't be in a relationship. He was really weird, because at the end of it, he said, "Oh, because I don't know if I don't know if I knew I was asexual back then or not, but I said that I wasn't into sex." And he's like, "Oh, I can be your pretend boyfriend." I'm like, why would I want a boyfriend, like a guy who wants to pretend to be my boyfriend? What would be the point in that? And so I thought it's a bit insulting. It's almost like saying, "Oh, because you don't want sex, you can't get a boyfriend, so I'll pretend to be your boyfriend, because clearly you won't be able to get anyone. So I'll just fit the bill and I'll just be there anyway." That's very insulting, I think, to asexuals. Um, Jay, I went shooting once. I got the top score out of everyone. Wow. Sam, I shot a gun once as part of a birthday celebration. It was very difficult and I could not hit the target or even come get close. Steve, I've only used BB guns. The men in the family shot them every once in a while. I got shot in the butt. You've got a shot in the butt, not fun. Brother shot you. Oh my god. I used to use an air rifle as a kid. I got taught by my dad. I was under 6 years old. I don't really understand why, but I got taught how to use an air rifle by my dad when I was under 6 years old. And I used to aim it into a tree trunk, like this tree trunk with a target, which was actually near the stream with the ducks. Not the ducks were that side with the stream and the target was in front of me. But it was weird. I'm like, why am I under the age of 6 learning how to shoot an air rifle? That seemed weird. Very strange. It's like, do you know something I don't? I'm gonna have to protect myself when I'm older or something. It's very weird. But I used to be quite good at shooting, actually. And so when I don't know if you've got them in the USA and other places, there's something called a hilly billy shootout, which is like an attraction. And when you hit certain targets with an air rifle, then things move and do things, like a skunk will shoot water out of its bum, and a person will get out of a coffin and flip up and then have a cigar in his mouth and shoot water out. And there'll be something like a clock, and a long, like Big Ben clock, the clock door will open and something like a squirrel will run up it and bang the bell and stuff like that. And it's known as like a hilly billy shootout. It's an attraction. They have one in Disneyland Paris when I went there. And so you use the air rifle to shoot these, and then these different things happen. I used to be really good at that, because obviously I had the experience as a kid of using an air rifle. So, I could do that basically. I think I'm gonna call it a night or a day, because it's like 5:35 in the morning and I've got to be up in less than 2.5 hours, because I've got a doctor's appointment about my ankle and stuff. So yeah, I've really enjoyed this chat though. Stevie, I don't like bullets. All right, we carrying on the conversation for a little bit. I don't like bullets, so I used the BB my brother's shot and his friends shot with bullets. Luckily, they didn't shoot at anybody with them. All right, okay. So you don't like the bullets, so use the BB. My see everyone later. Yeah, I think it's time to get some rest. Thank you for the thumbs up for anyone who's given it to me. I really, really appreciate that. If you didn't know already, this is my first book for Asexual. So I released that in 2017. It's on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, and Waterstones. If you did want to read more asexual stories, it's Asexual Perspectives. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Sam, best friend. Thank you, Stevie, and thank you, Jay. And also, there was some people in the chat earlier, which was Super Ace Man Rich, and there was also some other people as well. So Albert as well. That was it. Yeah, you've been absolute. So Stevie, Jay, Sam, Albert, Super Ace Man Rich, and have I missed anyone else out? I hope I haven't. But yeah, it's been really lovely to talk to you. And yeah, see you soon. Lots of love. And I'll see you on next video live stream. It's been an absolute pleasure. Take care. Nice, Joe. See you. Lots of love. Bye. Nice to see you.